Hi students, today we are going to study a new lesson. So what is the lesson today? Now before we do that, I want to ask you something. The first question, number 1, do you like traveling and why? Number 2, where do you often travel to? So the suggested answer here is, you can say, number 1, yes, I like traveling a lot because traveling can help me relax after studying hard, and traveling can help me get more knowledge and more information about the places I've come. And number 2, where do you often travel to? You can say, I often travel to Hanoi, to Da Nang, to Vũng Tàu, and so on. So, what are the question about? So the question today is about traveling. So that is the title for Unit 11, Traveling Around Vietnam. Today we study Lesson 1, Getting Started, with Listen and Read, on page 98 and 99. Now, are you ready to study? Now let's begin. I help you to have a tour with some pictures here. Now, can you tell me where are the places here? You think up the name of the places in 5 seconds, and then I help you with the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now here is the answer. The places here: Hạ Long Bay, Nhà Rồng Harbor, Ngõ Môn Gate, the Temple of Literature. So, but can you tell me exactly which picture is Hạ Long Bay, which picture is Nhà Rồng Harbor, which picture is Ngõ Môn Gate, and which picture is the Temple of Literature? Now here is the answer. The first picture is Ngõ Môn Gate, and the second picture here is Nhà Rồng Harbor, and the third picture, the Temple of Literature, and the last picture is Hạ Long Bay. So all places are in Vietnam. So the lesson today, I want to tell traveling you around Vietnam. Now, before study the new lesson, I want to help you with some new words. You look at the 4 pictures here. Can you tell me what are they about? Now, picture A, it is about crop. Picture B, rice paddy. And picture C, corn. And picture D, sugar cane. Now continue to 3 picture E, F, and G. Picture E, what is it? Airport. And picture F, when you travel, you bring and picture F, when you travel, we often bring things with us, so we call it luggage. And picture G, yes, it is farmland. All the new words for you. Now listen and repeat after me. Crop, crop, crop. Corn, corn, corn. Sugar cane, sugar cane, sugar cane. Airport, airport, airport. Luggage, luggage, luggage. Farmland, farmland, farmland. Now you open your notebook and write down the new words, and remember, put the stress for them. Sugar cane, the first stress on sugar. And airport, the first stress. Luggage, the first stress too. And farmland, the first stress. Now you try to remember this vocabulary because they are very helpful for you to understand the lesson. Now, look at the pictures here. On the left of the picture is Hoa, and on the right of the picture is Mr. Jones and Mrs. Jones, Tim and Shannon. Hoa meets Tim at the airport and they have a conversation. Now, I want you to listen to the conversation.
Unit 11. Traveling around Vietnam.
Listen and read.
Hoa meets Tim at the airport. Hoa, I'd like you to meet my parents and my sister, Shannon.
How do you do? What do you do? Welcome to Vietnam.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you finally, Hoa.
Can I help you with your bags, Mrs. Jones?
Thank you. It's great to be in Vietnam.
Would you mind sitting in the front seat of the taxi, Mr. Jones? I'd like to sit with Tim and Shannon.
No problem. I prefer the front seat.
Are we far from Hanoi?
It's about a 40-minute drive from the city center.
Look, Shannon. I can see a boy riding a water buffalo.
Wow, this is very exciting. Are those rice paddies, Hoa?
Yes, and the crop over there is corn. On the left, you can see sugar cane.
Would you mind if I took a photo?
Not at all. I'll ask the driver to stop the car.
Yes. Now, I want you to listen to the conversation again once or twice. You can replay the audio as many times as possible for you to understand clearly. Now, we continue. Now, I want you to read these sentences carefully and you follow the conversation and tell me these sentences here are true or false. The exercise here is in your book, so you don't need to copy down the exercise. You just write the answer true or false for the sentences. Now, in 2 minutes, you try to finish the exercise. You stop the video and you do the exercise, and then I help you with the answer. 3, 2, 1. Now, first, the answer for sentence A. This is the first time Hoa has met Tim's family. Is it true or false? Again. And the underlying part here, Hoa says Tim and Hoa and Mrs. Jones talk together. Hoa, I'd like you to meet my parents and my sister Shannon. How do you do? So you pay attention to how do you do. How do you do used for reading when you meet somebody for the first time. Sentence A is true. And sentence B, Hoa helps Mrs. Jones with her luggage. Look at the conversation again. Hoa say, can I help you with your bags, Mrs. Jones? So sentence is true. And sentence C, the Jones family is traveling from the airport in the bus. Look at the conversation again and pay attention here. Taxi. Sentence D. Shannon has never seen rice paddies before. Now look at the conversation. Shannon say, are those rice paddies Hoa? So she don't know the paddies, so she asked the first time. True. And sentence E, the car is traveling past farmland. Look at the conversation and pay attention to the under part. Water butter flow, rice paddies, corn and sugar canes. So they belong to farmland. This is true. And sentence F, only rice and corn are grown around Hanoi. Conversation. Nope. Besides that, we have sugar canes. So this sentence is false. Yes. Now, you correct the answer. if you are wrong. If you are wrong, you correct the answer. Now in the conversation we have a new grammar point. I want you to look at the conversation again and pay attention to the underlined part here. Would you mind sitting in the front seat of the taxi? Now this sentence begins with would you mind? Would you mind? And after would you mind, what can you say? Yes. And this sentence here, would you mind if I took a photo? This sentence begins with would you mind too, but after would you mind we have if, so we say that this sentence begins with would you mind if. Now you pay attention, what are the differences between would you mind and would you mind if? Now can you think of the answer? Now I help you. After would you mind, you pay attention to sitting. The verb sitting is in being form. So the structure here, would you mind, goes with a being form. And look at the sentence. Would you mind if I took a photo? After would you mind if, we have the subject I, and you pay attention to the verb took. Took. It is basically from took, taken. So took is V0, V2 or V3. It is actually V2. So the structure here, would you mind if, goes with a subject, and after that we use a V2. If you don't have V2, you add ed after it. So I remind you the grammar today is with would you mind goes with a being, and would you mind if goes with subject, and after that is a V2 or VED. Now we look more examples here. Would you mind sitting in the front seat? I have told you already. And would you mind if I took a photo? I have told you already. And number 3, do you mind taking a photo? Number 4, do you mind if I take a photo? So what are the differences between number 1, number 2 with number 3 and number 4? So number 3 we have do you mind. It is not would you mind. So do you mind, we use a taking. Taking is a being too. So we can use do you mind and would you mind with a being. So do you mind is the same as would you mind. After do you mind or after would you mind, we can use a being. But number 4, do you mind if, after that is subject I, and the verb take. We don't use took here like number 2. So what is the difference between do you mind if and would you mind if? Now I help you. After do you mind if, we use a subject, and then after that we use a V0. We don't use V2. Here is the form. Do you mind or would you mind goes with a being. Would you mind if goes with a subject and then a V2 or VED. And do you mind if subject a verb and a present form of the verb. So when do we use the structure? We use it to give request. Now open your notebook and write down the structure. You can stop the video until you finish. Now I move on. At home, I want you to learn by heart the vocabulary and the structures. You prepare for the next lesson. Unit 11, Lesson 2. Read on page 102 to 105. So that's the end of the lesson today. See you next time.